Hi guys, how's everyone doing? So, if you're tuning in for the first time, my name's Marianne Hanson and I am a relationship counsellor. I work with individuals and I also work with couples, mainly around relationships, but I also work with individuals around depression and stress. So I've just done a live video on my Facebook page, which I'll encourage you to go over and watch on Any Journeys Counselling. But I thought I'd also make this video for my YouTube channel, just so in case you don't get over to Facebook, you can watch it on here. So the video is about 3 issues that couples may go to couples therapy for. And I'll sort of keep it brief, because if you do want more information, you can send me an email, you can send me a message on my Facebook page, or you can call the number, which all my details are in the bio at the bottom of this page. And I'll be able to sort of work with you from there. So one of the key things that people go to couples therapy for is trust issues. Now, over the years, I've worked with many couples and also with individuals actually around trust. I've also made a video on trust issues, which I've still got to upload, but when I do, I'll obviously you'll be able to watch that. Trust issues can originate from many places, really. They don't always have to be about the current relationship that a person is in. In fact, most of the time, they're nothing to do with the current relationship. They're usually about the past relationship someone has been in, and that could either be what they've observed growing up. So if people learn from what they see. So if you're a child and you grow up in a household or an environment where you observe a couple, your mum and dad, or your mum and partners, or your dad and different partners, that's how you get an understanding of how couples operate. There's no other way. Well, there's other ways. You can see things on TV, you can watch things on YouTube, you can watch your friends' parents interact, but you're watching those other things, but you're literally learning from what you see every day, and also the people closest to you, which are your parents. So if you see your parents I don't know, having different affairs and telling you not to tell your mum, don't tell your dad. If you see domestic violence, if you see parents stealing from each other, or you hear arguments about all sorts of things, then you're not going to be able to have that sense of trust sometimes as a person. So when you then move on to your relationships, you're going to either model the same behaviour, or you're just going to be wary of every single person you come across, because you're going to think they're going to be like your mum or like your dad. Another way that trust issues can impact is if you've been in previous relationships, or lots of relationships where you've been cheated on. A number of the women I've worked with over the years, it's created so much of an issue if they've been cheated on, even if it's just once. The impact of being betrayed through cheating can have such a major impact on some people that even if they've been cheated on once in one relationship, every relationship they go on to from that point, they do not have trust. And without trust, you don't really have like a fulfilling relationship, because you just have it's like there's no foundation to it, because you're continuously on edge. You don't trust that person, you won't invest in that person in the same way. So that's kind of how I work with couples or with individuals. I'll try and unlock the origins. Where did that trust issue come from? When did you first notice that there were those issues there? Because that's the only way to move forward, is to look at where it originated. So another major thing that comes up is poor communication, and that can be anything from different communication styles, not communicating, communicating but the only form of communication being shouting, screaming. So many couples find it hard to just talk to one another, but even harder to listen. So some of the things I do as a couples counsellor, when they're in that therapy room, it's about modelling, effective communication, but also giving them the opportunity, without distractions, to talk to each other and actually listen. So an exercise I use is I'll put a timer on for 2 minutes, for example, and within that time I'll ask a question. I'll say to one half of the couple to ask a particular question, and then the other half of the couple needs to listen and not respond, and then after the question is asked and they've listened, they can then respond to what's been said. Now the key thing with that is, for many of these couples, they've never, you know, had that person to intervene and mediate. They'll be shouting at each other, going back and forth, and they're not listening to a word the other's saying, so you just don't get resolution. Someone storms off, or someone says, oh, forget this, you know, you're not listening anyway. So that's the good thing about couples counselling, is that you can be in that space with no distraction and you can have a mediator. And the final thing that comes up for many couples is intimacy issues or growing apart. So although they're not directly linked, they are in another way. You can be in a relationship with someone and not really know them anyway. You know, as human beings, we're always evolving, we're always changing. But when it comes to a point where you wake up and you feel you don't even recognise that person that you married, or you all of a sudden you're in the same bed as someone and it just feels different, there's no connection there, it can be quite upsetting for either party. And that's why they'll sometimes come to couples therapy to try and work out what's going on. You know, is it that we had kids and now the kids are the priority? Is it that we want different things out of life? You know, is it that we just don't like each other anymore? You know, and how can we get that back, or can we get it back? The good thing about couples counselling is that it gives you that space to ask these questions, and it gives you the opportunity to get some input from the counsellor. And intimacy issues is linked to that, because if you're not connected with someone emotionally, it's hard sometimes to connect physically. You know, they both are linked in one way. So they're sort of three of the reasons. There's many other reasons people come for couples therapy or for individual relationship therapy. If you're someone that kind of can relate to this video, and maybe these are some issues that are affecting you at the moment, then please feel free to leave your details, to contact me on the information provided, and please share this video with anyone you think you'll find it useful. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon on another video. Thank you. Bye.